Hi everyone, this is Akos, the CEO of Airtime, and this is Product Fit, a video podcast with exceptional product leaders and company builders. Today, my guest is Adam Springer, a fantastic sales consultant. But before I talk too much about his credentials and about his background, I'll just hand the mic straight over to him. Hi, Adam. Pleasure to have you here. Could you say a few words about yourself?
Sure. Anything except for exceptional. No, let's see. I'm from America. I started two of my own businesses in America and was really a workaholic. Came on vacation to Israel a long time ago now, like 13 years ago, 14 years ago, to kind of unwind and get away from it all. Ended up being happier here, went into tech and started working in sales for tech. So I've been doing that for about 14 years now, something like that. I've been the first salesperson for 4 different startups, 3 of them successful, 0 to $1 million in under a year, then scaled up to 5, 10, 20 million, depending on the company. Shortly thereafter by building teams and putting processes in place, stuff like that. So that's kind of my background. And ever since doing those 4 startups, I've been consulting and working with other companies in their sales processes and structures to get their businesses up and running.
Amazing. And besides doing your consultancy business, you also started and decided to start your own venture, right? Tell us the story around that. What is it about?
So it's kind of like, it's not like another venture. It's still like the same venture. It's just kind of a different angle. Because when I've been working with all these different startups, one thing kept coming up. It doesn't matter how good of a process I put in place if you don't have anybody to talk to. And so I decided, like, okay, well, we need to fix that problem. Because if you don't have anybody to talk to, you could have the best product in the world. You could have the best sales process in the world, but nobody to talk to means no sales, means no business at the end of the day. So I decided to test with a handful of my clients, making kind of growth hacking techniques and testing what methods work, what methods don't work. And then now I'm growth hacking as a service for some of my clients or for any client that wants to get those services.
Okay, got it. And are you doing this on your own, or do you have any partners in crime?
Well, I mean, I've got a small team, but yeah, I'm on my own. Besides my team helping me and taking some of the load off, it's pretty much just me.
Okay, so this is something I wanted to ask you about. I assumed you did this on your own, and like being a sales consultant and then doing this company on your own. Um, it must be difficult sometimes, and I don't want to put like words in your mouth. You tell me if it is difficult. But in terms of like coming from the startup angle, what I do hear is that launching companies and startups alone is a lot more difficult than the 2 or 3 of you, because if there's more of you, you have complementary skill sets. And then 2, there are always ups and downs in the business, and you can help each other to get through those dips. And I'm curious about your perspective on this.
Yeah, I would definitely love to have a co-founder with me. So if anybody listening, the problem is I mean, you kind of said a lot, so I don't know which angle to attack first, but I think one of the biggest things is that I think it's human nature anyways, but we get caught up in the stuff that's not so important a lot of times. And what I miss the most about having a manager or somebody to hold me accountable is, hey, Adam, what you're working on right now is not important. And for example, website. I could spend 2 or 3 days fixing up my website, but that's not a good use of my time. At the end of the day, yes, a website's very important, but I need to be building out better sales processes. I need to be reaching out to more clients. I need to get more people in the funnel. I need to work on getting results for my clients instead of the website. So, that's a small example, but things like that really miss having somebody around to kind of slap me around and say, Adam, that's not your core focus.
Do you have like some like ex-colleagues, or mentor is not the right word, but I, for instance, I have some people in my, I'm gonna call it network, people that I really appreciate and respect in their respective fields, and whenever I find myself lost in whatever topic, let's say pricing, I reach out to them to help me come out of this paralysis, or just lack of good ideas in that area.
Yeah, I have people. I mean, my wife is probably the best one, even though she's not from the business world, but she's a great sounding board, especially to call me out on my BS. I think that's
My wife is similarly, but she's very critical. So I'm very mindful when I go to her and which ideas test with her.
yeah. Yeah, and she's it's a good partner to have. But yeah, I mean, I've got friends that have done it. I mean, I started my podcast. I also have a podcast, as you know, many years ago, but I started it for the same reason: is I needed other people that were in the same situation as me or higher than me, more experienced than me, that I could learn from. So that's why I started my podcast, is so I could go out and learn from other people, ask those people the questions that I'm of the challenges I'm having now, and learn from them. So that's another technique I use to get
Oh,
help.
that's a win-win, because you bring like good content to your audience, but at the same time you also learn from the expert.
It was purely selfish reason to start my podcast. It wasn't to get business. It wasn't to do anything. It was just for me to be able to pick the brains of people that would probably charge tens of thousands of dollars for a 1 hour session. So it worked well.
Yeah, 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 yeah. In terms of building your business, is it something that you bootstrap, or is it something that you like use the external funding for to build up the team and scale your operations?
Bootstrapped 100%.
Do you have something against like VC money or angel money or other sort of financing?
I'm not that organized. So I don't think
But
any
that's
investor.
not that's not the answer I was expecting.
Yeah, probably not. But I mean, I never really thought about going out and getting investor money. It was like, okay, that would be nice if I could get $1 million. I could really grow and scale this quickly. But at the same time, it was like, you're in survival mode, and I gotta keep the business going because it's also what's feeding my family. And then kind of grew from there. And now, obviously, I'm at a stable place, but and I could grow without the need for external funds now. So if I need to grow and hire another team, it's because I've got another team member. It's because I've got more business coming my way. So that will pay for that team member.
Okay, okay, got it. Um, what I'm also interested in is that you're now like service focused, right? I guess you're using a number of software out there on the market to support your clients. Do you have an idea in the back of your mind to at one point develop your own software that helps the process or the methodologies that you tell your clients or advise your clients?
So there's a book called 10x is easier than 2x. I think that's what it is.
Mhm.
And I'm reading it now, so I'm not finished, but it's basically saying like going 10x is much easier than going 2x for your business. And it's to have that kind of mindset. So this is on my mind a lot. And yes, that has come across my mind to kind of create my own white label or my own service. I looked for companies that would do it for me. Uh, but it would mean an incremental increase for my business for both me and my clients. So it's not a 10x move. It's a 2x move.
So,
Is kind of the point of bringing up that book. So it wouldn't be a huge difference unless I wanted to completely pivot and go into a SaaS business, which I don't really want to do.
okay, okay, got it. Now, you having this strong sales background, I'm curious, like how Is it easy for you to get clients? Because that's what you're like counseling on and consulting on. Is it easy for you?
I mean, it's always hard to get clients, no matter what. The sales process, like when I've got sales meetings and stuff, it's I'm not scared of it. I come in very calm and relaxed. I shouldn't be saying this out loud because a lot of my clients, I always tell them off for this, but sometimes I don't prepare for the meetings, which is a big no-no. But I guess I'm human as well. But no, it's not. I mean, it's obviously I'd always want more business and more clients, but it's not that hard. No.
Okay, so what's your because I think sales and like I tell my perspective, and for me it's not always easy. There are periods when there seems to be on a like on a wave, and I'm riding that, but then sometimes no waves come to stick with this surfing metaphor. And I was just wondering, what's your like technique to like generate this stable flow of leads, and then not just talking to them, but turning them into paying customers, which is like the big thing.
So I think there's I mean, this could be a whole few hours of conversation right here, but I think to go off of your analogy of the waves, one thing I see a lot of people not doing is when you get on that wave and like, okay, now I've got like 10 people in the pipeline, I'm going to focus on them. And then what happens is, okay, you've got a 30% close rate or something. You close 3 of those clients. But then that's done, you've got nothing. And then you have to go and start prospecting again and start building that funnel up again. And so the problem is you should always be prospecting, even when you're really busy and you've got a full pipeline of, millions of dollars of revenue coming in. Still prospect like you don't have anything, and then you'll never have those ups and downs. So that's to answer that. I think on the other side of what you were saying is, I think it's really important not to look at sales as I need to sell something or I need to convince somebody of something else. You need to look at it as a partnership. You are going to help your client achieve something, which is hopefully a pain that they have, and you're going to help them solve it. They're going to help you solve your problem, which is an empty bank account. So it really is a partnership there. It shouldn't be, you shouldn't look at yourself as like you're underneath them because and you need them to help you. It needs to be both directions.
Okay, mutual eye level.
Yeah.
And I love what you said about like always be prospecting, because because that's also a phenomenon I observed in the past, that like get a good bunch of leads in there, very focused on converting them, and then forgetting to reach out further leads further leads all the time. Um,
This is, by the way, what I am actually doing with a lot of my clients in the new venture that you talked about previously is putting in these growth hacking strategies that are somewhat automated so that you don't have to really be focused on it too much, and you could just be
yeah.
taking in the new meetings as you go. So no matter how busy you are, you could just keep your calendar being filled up. And I think that's something that's
Give me
important.
a teaser of like one or two initiatives that you do?
So cold email is always really great. You read on LinkedIn and everything that people are saying phone calls are working or emails working or LinkedIn is working. And this is what's hot now. It's all BS. Nothing really changes over the years. It's just, whichever influencer is deciding to talk about what, and that's kind of becomes the focus of everybody. They all work all the time. Yes, you're going to have to change the strategies a bit and change your content and the messaging a bit, but they all work all the time. So for me, I'm finding the best results with cold email and LinkedIn outreach. And I know a lot of people are probably shaking their head with LinkedIn outreach because they get bad LinkedIn outreach. But when you do it properly, it works really well.
Sweet, sweet. There's I have a last question for you, and this is more on the emotional side of when someone's doing sales. Um, I think it's inevitable that you bump into a number of no's, like over the course of time, a large volume of no's, which is difficult to digest and bad for the ego, because people to, or I'm going to talk about myself. I could can take it personally. I put all the effort in to be meaningful, and then I get a no, and that means they don't like me. Um, what are your thoughts on dealing with this sort of negative emotional impact or the hardship of getting no when you do sales?
Get over it.
Get over it. Okay.
It's gonna happen, and it sucks every time. For example, just last night I got an email from a prospect that I've been working on. That just last Friday they told me. Hopefully they're not listening to this. But just last Friday they sent me an email saying yes, they're ready to go. We talked to her and her founder, and they both said yes, they're ready to go. And so they're like, okay, let's start as soon as we can. And then I said, okay, I need this information so I could begin. They didn't respond. The next Monday, I called them. They said they were in a meeting and they'll call me back. They didn't call back. And then so I sent them a message the next day. Long story short, I got an email last night saying, you're being too pushy and we're going to need time to think this over. So that's a rejection, obviously. And that's really hard. And it affected me as well, just as even though I've been doing this for who knows how long. So it will happen. It always happens. I think as much as it sucks, the best way to get over it is to make sure you have a full pipeline, and you do that by always prospecting, always making sure that you're adding new people into the funnel. Because then, okay, that email comes in or that phone call comes in and they say no, but then an hour later you've got another meeting with a hot prospect that's interested in meeting with you, and that will help you bounce back.
Yeah, and look forward.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. I think that that's a nice closing word here. Adam, thanks so much for talking to me and sharing your stories. Really appreciate it, and I hope to see you around in the future.
Hopefully I'll be coming that way soon.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.